He's looking on the pictures on the wall, and he saw a photo with a brother that had a hairdo that looked just like his. And he said, hey, man, he said, that dude's copying my Gumby. The picture he pointed to was a photo of my father taken in 1934. So Gumbies really ain't no big thing and no new thing, you know? They are part of a tradition. 40 years ago, Count Basie, when I met him, used to call me homeboy. So that ain't no new thing either. That's part of a tradition. And today's rappers are just beginning to learn, and I've had real close and warm relationships with most of them, are beginning to learn that they're part of a real great tradition that started hundreds of years ago. It's about dropping science on them, about the African griots and storytellers, oral historians, thousands of years ago. None of us, nobody got here where we are today without the spiritual and the practical help from all those people that came before us. I would not be standing on this stage today if it weren't for people like Ray Charles, who I know since 14, Count Basie, Oscar Pettiford, Dizzy Gillespie, Clark Terry, who taught me how to put my trumpet to my lips, Duke Ellington, who's been my God forever, Bumps Blackwell, Benny Carter, and Bobby Tucker, who was Lady Day's musical director, who I played with when I was 15, and hundreds of others who carried me on top of their shoulders before I could stand on my own 2 feet as a musician and an artist. And don't you ever forget that. There's a lot of people before you, and it's one continuous expression of a lot of people, and it's one unified sound. I owe a tremendous debt to these people, just as today's singers like Michael Jackson, Prince, James Ingram, El DeBarge, Bobby Brown, Al-B Sure, Luther Vandross, and young Tevin Campbell. They owe a big part of their success to Nat King Cole, those pioneers, Billy Eckstine, Sam Cooke, James Brown, Otis Redding, and Marvin Gaye. It's one family. When I was coming up, I always thought that the black music community, I thought of it as a family. And like all good families, we took care of each other. We cared about each other because we knew it wouldn't last forever. We took care of each other when times were not so good. And I remember Count Basie, when he came to Seattle at the Palomar Theater in the Northwest where I was living, with just a 7-piece band and paying some heavy dues. And all he could afford to carry was 7 people back in 1948. And Billy Eckstine, who was really on top, with a dozen or more gold records, he came to Basie and he said, Bass, you come play with me. Here's the bread. Put your big band back together and let me help you out on some dates. And a few years later, Basie was happening with Joe Williams, and he had a hit record. Eckstine was in trouble, and Basie took him on the road with him and helped him. It was a family thing. We got to remember that. It was then, and it should be now. If we don't look out for each other, nobody's going to be there to look out for us. Nobody's going to have a hit record every year. We all need to do something to draw on when our records are not on the charts. They're not on the radio. They're not on Soul Train. And if you don't go for the long run or longevity, you lose the opportunity to grow as a creative and spiritual human being. If you give in to impatience, you can only increase a pressure to think about just getting over, and it's much more important to think about getting better.
Mañana de este miércoles, los agentes federales reaparecieron en el área metropolitana de Atlanta.
Award was established last year in honor of the man who has been recognized throughout most of his 60 year career as the entertainment world's greatest and most versatile media star. As a continuing tribute to Sammy Davis Jr.'s legendary achievements, this award is presented annually to the artist or performer whose accomplishments as an entertainer during the previous calendar year are worthy of the highest possible commendation. The name Sammy Davis Jr. represents the highest standard in entertainment, and over the past year, our recipient more than lived up to those standards. On his way to capturing America's heart and substantial share of the national late-night television audience as host and executive producer of the Arsenio Hall Show.
My name is Arsenio Hall. Let's get busy.
I've used bus fare to go to the state fair. I had a corn dog there. It was medium rare. Now I need Medicare.
LaToya's breast check on the next Arsenio. You know that? Actually, I don't need the visitor. They can just let me know who the doctor is. I can buy something for myself, you know? Just put them around the house, in the car, in my bedroom, you know? Have some on the kitchen table while I'm eating cereal.
Makes me say, ow.
Yo, boy! Cineo. Yo, man, let me get your hand cocked while you here, man. Yeah, for my girlie, write a little something for my girlie, man. Write something good now, write something real life. Don't be perpetrating, yo.
You starred with Eddie Murphy in Coming to America.
Don't mention his damn name to me. That's the problem. He talked me into playing a transvestite in that damn movie. That was the beginning to the end. He said, oh, just look at camera and say,
I want to tear you apart. And your friend, too. And I know you had something to do with what happened to my brother, quick. Yo, man, I don't know what you're talking about. That bush, man. You know what I'm talking about.
that, my friends, is acting. Jokes, not the creation of jokes, but the creation of thoughts that make you say, When you're in the supermarket, sometimes do you see the Quaker Oats box and wonder if that's Barbara Bush? Why is it that all the white characters on television have the best names? I mean, I'm not complaining. Some of my best friends are white, but I'm not complaining. But you ever notice that the white people are always named like Lance, Blake, Blair, you know, those kind of names. When you watch the black people, it's always like Tootie, Huggy Bear, Rerun, you know? You know I've been lying.
Yeah, big time. You've been lying big time. But I don't know why you just don't tell them the truth. I mean, tell them that I'm having your baby.
Strive to be number one.
Ladies and gentlemen, the recipient of the 1990 Soul Train Music Sammy Davis Jr. Award, Mr. Arsenio Hall. say you do.
Please stay here.
Just say you do.
Oh, stay here with me, baby, please.
I'll stay.
Okay.
I'll stay and take the award. Go ahead.
There's not much left to say that Heavy and Quincy and some of our other wonderful, talented black stars have told you already. I'd like to give thanks and praise to God, who is my agent, and I can't think of a better place to be honored in this fashion than the Soul Train Awards. Soul Train Awards are very, very important because it allows us to love us and give each other propers as we deserve. And sometimes I worry that we don't love each other enough as black people. When I look at the black-on-black crime rate, it really hurts me to the core of my heart. I want you all to love each other. If nobody else loves us, let's love each other. And I thank you for my honor from the bottom of my heart. And I just want to say one thing that I cannot forget. The gentleman whose name is on this trophy got out of the hospital today, Sammy Davis Jr. He's our greatest and one of the greatest entertainers America has ever known, the world has ever known. I hope you'll go home and pray for him. Sammy, we love you, baby.
Thank you.
God bless you all. Thanks for supporting me. Good night.
Pues hay nuevas noticias relacionadas con este caso. Y es que las autoridades estatales decidieron